Hey, I'm WVTM 13 Chief Meteorologist Jason Simpson, and the weather that we had Sunday night and early Monday across most of Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, and now that we've had across South Mississippi, South Alabama, and into northwestern Florida today has been pretty rough. In fact, the National Weather Service in Memphis found an EF1 tornado that developed late last night in southern Chickasaw County, Mississippi. Now, that's just north of Columbus, Mississippi. And a storm like that ramps up very quickly and it fades away very quickly. So tornadoes in June can happen and they can do significant damage, but they're usually not very long lasting, nor are they that high end kind that we had back in the spring when we were just being pelted with those things in what seemed like week after week after week. So the National Weather Service in Memphis finding one tornado in Mississippi from the storms late Sunday night. So here we go again. Tuesday, another risk of some severe thunderstorms, but it's a matter of, well, where do they develop this time? Is it same areas as last night, or are we talking about something a little different? And I think this one is going to be a little bit different. We'll likely see a batch of storms develop over in this area, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, tracking southeast. And as it comes toward us, the greatest risk of severe weather, to me, looks like it would be south of that line right there. So below this line, from about Montgomery south, from about Uniontown south, from around Utah southward, Demopolis southward, toward the Alabama Gulf Coast. North of that, yes, there is still a risk of a few severe storms across central Alabama. Even Jefferson, Tuscaloosa, Walker, Etowah County, Calhoun County. Can't rule it out, but you get up toward Huntsville, I would be surprised if we get too much rain whatsoever coming up on Tuesday. So here's some general timeline for central Alabama. And we've got this round of thunderstorms coming in fairly early in the morning, 6 to 9 a.m. over West Alabama. And remember, like I said, I think the greater risk of a severe storm is down in this area or south of it, south of Tuscaloosa, south of Clanton, south of Maplesville, down toward Autauga County, Dallas County, Marengo County, Greene, Hale, and into Perry County too. So for central Alabama, the greatest risk of severe weather is mainly to the south, but we'll keep watching it. These things can change a matter of miles, and really 50 miles is a lot to us. 50 miles is not a lot to the atmosphere, so we'll keep an eye on it. So there, again, your timing from about 5 o'clock in the morning until late afternoon. We'll be watching for that. Now, the Weather Prediction Center, WPC, also has a risk of some flash flooding up for tomorrow for locally heavy rain. Most likely what happens here is we get this area of heavy thunderstorms that develops, again, in this zone right here. And what they've done is they've just drawn the outline of it wider than what the actual thunderstorms will probably be. So I don't think that we get flash flooding all the way up into Birmingham, maybe not even as far north as Tuscaloosa, but there may be a stripe of rain that's 10, 20 miles wide where we have 2 or 3 inches of rain during the day on Tuesday. And then here we go again, Wednesday, another risk of severe weather. And this one's going to be a little bit different. I don't think it's so much severe weather for north and central Alabama as it will be down to the south. In fact, if you look at the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, they mark this area here over southern Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia with a bit more of an enhanced kind of outlook. So they've even got what we would call the old hatch on it. So right in that area, this is where more significant severe weather is possible. But in the zone just north of that, right here, I think there's potential for another 10, 20 mile wide stripe of extremely heavy rain to develop. So how's all this going to play out for us? Well, first of all, we look at what's going on today to get an idea of what's going to happen tomorrow, and exactly what we expected. Today, North Alabama has been protected from the storms. They've all been to the south, and look at this tremendous lightning over Mississippi. That's dropping south. In fact, here at 5:47 p.m., there's a severe thunderstorm warning up for Mobile County, and those storms are working down toward the Gulf Coast. And here's one sure giveaway that these things are going to develop the way that they are. The 850 millibar flow, and I put this on Twitter the other day. It didn't really work as well as I wanted it to because, well, I mean, what can you really do on Twitter to explain something without a thread of 100 tweets? So ultimately, what's going on here is we look for pockets of hot air, several thousand feet off the ground like this right here, to feed into these big storm complexes that are moving south. So we'll just use the good old-fashioned surface trough here to represent where a complex of storms would be. So we've got some storms over here in Georgia at this point. We probably have some storms in Alabama at that point on Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. And then look out here to the west over Louisiana and Arkansas. Look at that wind speed. I mean, you just got strong wind coming up this way right here. It's forcing that very hot, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico northward. So let's clear and let's bounce forward a few hours. We get our Tuesday storms. Those start to fizzle out. And then on Wednesday morning, hey, here's a tip. One of the greatest factors in creating lift for thunderstorms or rain is warm air advection. And look at this. You got lots and lots and lots of warm air here being pushed up over some rain-cooled air in Alabama. That's what I think could lead to some flash flooding in central Alabama, maybe even North Alabama on Wednesday, because we'll just have multiple waves of storms building up there. And then look at this. So there come our thunderstorms. And again, we'll use our good old-fashioned surface trough to outline what was probably be outflow from thunderstorms. So we've had multiple storms already by 9 a.m. A lot of them are hovering in this territory right here and pushing the rain-cooled air down to the south. Now, watch what happens. Those areas are going to move as the heat and humidity build again. So we get that first wave in the morning on Wednesday, and then there's tremendous warm air advection right there. Movement of warm air, that's all it is. So the warm air advection is going to fire up more heavy thunderstorms. Some of those could be severe on Tuesday and Wednesday, but this is specifically for Wednesday. Yet again, dead giveaway. You've got the strong flow of hot air feeding into the back of thunderstorms. That way they don't run out of fuel. You've also got this feature out to the west, an area of low pressure that's helping to amplify all this a little bit. So that's one of the reasons that all this is going on. So let's check out 7-day forecast here. Central Alabama, more storms in the forecast on Tuesday. Your greatest risk of a severe storm, Tuscaloosa, Brent, Clanton, Montgomery, southward where it's hotter. To the north, these are just showers most likely. Maybe a brief thunderstorm around Arley or Cullman, Sneed, Asheville, Gadsden. I don't think we hardly get anything in the Tennessee Valley region up around the Huntsville area tomorrow. We're calling it an impact day, though, because there still may be some heavy storms within the area here. So I just want you to be aware of it. Impact doesn't necessarily mean severe. It just means that it's a disruptive kind of situation. On Wednesday, remember I was showing you that warm air advection and what it's going to do? So watch this. We get that first round early in the morning. These thunderstorms just keep developing. And then if you remember, we talked about where the rain-cooled air would be. Well, right there, 7 a.m., you've got rain-cooled air expanding southward. That may play into some new thunderstorm development through the afternoon. But then we get that batch coming through around 10 a.m., and then we get a little bit of a break, and then new thunderstorms are going to start developing in the afternoon and evening on Wednesday, and it may rumble on through Thursday morning too. It's somewhat chaotic. It's not going to be everybody gets the same amount of rain here, but there will be a lot of storms in the area Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They'll thin out some on Friday. In fact, there may be a lot of us that don't get rain at all on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they're going to kick up again, and this is it's a lot of rain expected here. Multiple days of showers and thunderstorms will lead to a large area of more than 3 inches of rain over central Alabama, maybe a few getting as much as 4 to 6. Honestly, this comes straight from WPC. I didn't draw the map. I just put the numbers on it. My personal opinion here is we probably don't get a lot of 4 to 6. I think we're going to get a lot of 2 to 3. But some spots are going to get 4 to 6. And then as the storms start thinning out, we will get a little bit hotter. And I've written about that in our forecast discussion on WVTM13.com. So I hope you'll check that out as well. And, of course, see us on WVTM13 on air and online.